All right. Episode, what, 8 of Underdorks? We are
Oh
now
yeah,
in Cold War with Withers and an actual invasion from Galdrin.
correct.
And that's as I say, I remembered, but that's as
You
much
did.
as I remember because every fucking time it comes time for the show, I don't remember anything, but when I'm actually DMing you, I know shit.
That's how it goes. Put on the spot.
But, anyways, where'd we leave off? Oh, also, we have a
Um,
special guest.
yes. So Quick is here with me. Where we left off last time was they were just about to invade the captain ship that they sabotaged last time. So they
Yep.
put the poison on the ship, make the crew weak, and then after that they had to wait 2 weeks for the poison to get to full effect. Plus they had to wait the 2 weeks for the prototype of the submersible. So those 2 weeks passed, and we did that encounter last time. And rather than me talk about the encounter, I'm going to get Quick to talk about the encounter from his perspective, and then I'm going to fuck off. So, see y'all.
All right.
Here you go.
Say something quick so I can make sure the audio's good.
How's it going?
All right. How you doing? I think we're good. We're good.
Sounds about right then. Good.
All right. So you had an encounter.
Yeah. It was kind of a funny one from my perspective on this because I ended up doing a lot more watching than anything else. I killed the guy who gives us signals.
Oh, you did.
Start from the beginning. Yeah, I haven't
Oh,
told them anything yet.
oh,
Last time we
okay.
left off, you guys hadn't you hadn't actually got to the boat.
Yeah, I need you both for back and forth.
Okay, so where you left off was just after we poisoned that other boat, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we poisoned those guys, then we waited. Um, we had a little submersible built.
Steam powered, right?
Yeah, and yeah, hydraulic and the like. We used that to get back to the ship, and with us we brought a bunch of the Masters of the Nine. Um, they're like the special unit of the Sanctuary's country.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. He was telling me about that a little bit.
And we also brought 3 dragons with us to help deploy.
Three what? 3 fucking dragons? Holy crap!
Yeah, well,
Man.
we just use them as an aerial drop-off, and they have a secondary benefit of silver dragons have 2 types of breath weapon. One is cold, and one is a paralysis.
So it's like a transport helicopter. It's like a transport ship with armament, kinda.
Kind of, yeah. So we use them to uh, breathe their paralysis gas into the belly of the ship to fuck up all their dudes.
Oh shit, that's pretty nice. So how'd that
Yeah,
work out?
it actually worked out really good, man. I think we ended up getting like 83% of them, give or take, being paralyzed for a round or two.
Oh shit! Oh,
Which made for excellent deployment. I mean, I don't remember the exact numbers of their vessel, but we brought 40 dudes plus us, and in the first round we killed like 89 guys.
that's a that's a pretty good ratio. 89.
Yeah, we took them to just about a man by the end of it. I mean, it turned out to be quite a thing. But where I kind of screwed the pooch for personal gameplay was as everybody got into position and we have now boarded the ship. I didn't board on with the submarine like the rest of the party.
Why
I
not?
went off the dragon and I got on the. I took out the guy who does the signals to other ships so that he couldn't alert anyone.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
But then I was stuck holding the fucking lamp all night and I couldn't do shit.
Oh, wait, you're essentially like babysitting.
Kinda, yeah.
Oh, that's so that's rough because you're
Yeah,
definitely
well, you
useful in a
pay for
fight.
being smart sometimes.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're based off of what he's been saying and what we've been covering. You're pretty damn useful in a fight. So having you out of it, was it tough for them?
No, because basically at this point, what we were doing was we were doing roll-offs to see, who was helping at what points, and because it was more of like a larger scale military campaign.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Cause yeah, the war.
Yeah, so it wasn't done so much on an individual combat level. So I mean, it was still something that I was able to partake in by rolling dice for other things. But um, I mean, the party functions pretty good without me. I've spent quite a bit of time alone in this particular campaign.
Oh yeah, that's right. You've been off. You ran right through a battle at one point and disappeared. Right? That was
Yeah,
right.
a couple times. I'm the one who smacked that weird
Yeah, yeah. See,
monster on the ass and stole his shit.
okay. Just went right through that. Because I completely forgot you were even a part of the party after a little bit because you disappeared. But
Yeah.
that's a pretty nifty talent to have.
Well, I mean, it doesn't hurt that my guy's only about, I don't know, he's under 3 feet tall.
Yeah, that's true. You have smaller
So
hitbox essentially.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. If you were to look at it in terms of hitbox, it definitely helps. Uh,
That's the thing I do when I talk. Like when you guys talk, I always try to align it with a video game reference or a metaphor, just so anybody that doesn't play D&D and wants to can kind of understand what's going on.
okay,
That's
so
just a side note.
out of curiosity, I know it's a bit of a sidetrack, but how did you get interested in wanting to do something like this?
Mm. Well, I it's kind of a long story, but essentially, just one day, it was a few years back. I played Neverwinter online, and I thought that was fun. And then I got into like the RP guilds in that game, and then from there, like I just had a background in like kind of, not tabletop roleplay, but websites had like kind of the same functionality. It rolled dice, you had random chances. I played a lot of those games where I typed out an
Okay.
action, and then based off a certain like criteria, it in just dice rolls essentially. It was something like that, and then I got into MMOs, and then from there I was like, all right, I need something that's more unlocked than an MMO. MMO's pretty open, to live in a new world, but D&D was kind of like, hey, that is the MMO if you're going to try to play a game. And then off all the videos and stuff I've read and watched, talking, covering, it was it. And I think more people should know about it. And I know I got into it listening to people's like not watching a session, but them recapping it, talking about the adventures and stories. That's what got me into D&D fully. So,
Okay,
so what we're doing right now is what I started watching that actually fully got me committed into D&D.
right on, man.
Yeah, it's different than what most people get experience how they get into D&D. But me, it was just RPG to RPG to the ultimate RPG. Plus, I had a background in forum, like chatting in forums and stuff. So I was used to
Okay.
descriptions, looking into details, having to use, context clues to solve puzzles and stuff. I know it's like D&D can get into that sometimes.
It
But
can, but I mean, what you're doing is terribly dissimilar than has been done in the past for writing novels, actually.
oh, really?
Yeah, there was a company, I think they've dissolved at this point, but they were called TSR. And there was at least one full campaign that was done, as far as I understand it, by test playing the game, and then the people enjoyed the story that they made enough that they actually wrote books about it.
That's pretty interesting. See, I like just hearing some of the stories, Mr. Man had to say, like what you guys are doing now. Just some of the stories he told before I actually was like, yeah, let's do a D&D pod. I was like, man, you should write, like turn it into a video game, a story or something. And I'm huge into like indie video games and just content creation in general. Just like not for money, but just for the love of the craft type of deal. And
To get
I, I,
ideas out there.
yeah, I'm presenting this so it's a record of the world existing until he writes a book. And I wanted to be kind of a content aggregator, someone that is kind of the medium for people's D&D stories, sessions, and worlds. There's I plan on spinning off, and he said he's down for the ride. Like spinning off as in getting like a game where, not a game, but a program where I could build dungeons, play out encounters and stuff. so it could go along with your guys' session, so I can recreate it in scene scenarios, video game form if possible.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like the world of Perennia a lot, so I feel like that could be. The way I'm presenting it, I like now, and I eventually do plan on joining you guys.
Well, that sounds good, man. It's always fun to have more people in the game.
Mm-hmm. I know I was supposed to
So
lawyer up until you guys started the new campaign, which was actually more helpful for our podcast too.
yeah, I was a
I,
little disappointed in that game. Not in that game that game ended as quickly as it did.
yeah.
I had some revenge to take on that broad who like stole my eye and
Yeah,
Freddy
that's
fingered my
right.
ass.
Yeah, that's right. And I said you guys should just outright killed her, but
Probably couldn't. She
I
was
wasn't
way too
helping
powerful.
make decisions at the point.
No. The game switch was a party decision, and I mean, I'm fun enough to just go with whatever, man. I mean, I'm playing games. How fucking bad could it be, right?
Yeah. See, I really do appreciate the people that like get attached to their characters emotionally and stuff. I like the role play, like the flavor. I like that aspect of it. It's always interested me because it's like everyone can just be an amateur actor, and it doesn't matter how bad you do because everyone's there for the fun. I like that. There's a
You
lot of
know, I
aspects about tabletop just in general that really draw me in.
well, and see, you're running across some absolute amateurs at the moment because for the most part, when we most of these guys that we're playing with have been playing for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know Andromeda and we've been playing together for like 20 years.
Oh shit!
Mr. Man's been with us for 10. Shaw's been with us for I don't know, 12 or 15.
So you guys are veterans,
Yeah, and
essentially.
as far as our like newest guy, and he's been around for 7 or 8 years.
Oh,
But we never really got into the full role playing portion of it until that last game.
so this is like still kind of new to you guys then, huh?
Well, we're still learning how to develop characters and things like that. Um,
Well, I'm glad to be a part of the journey in some aspect.
yeah, I mean it's fun, and some people have done more and less of it. It just before our games tended to generate or degenerate down into where are the monsters, here's the tactical map, we figure out the best way to kill everything, and then we go kill it.
Yeah. See, I like the more techie visual representation, and that's what I want. Like that's part of this podcast is getting to the point where I can start visually representing. I like high tech stuff, and I know you guys are low tech, like in terms of like as you said, tac maps and stuff. Not really for the what is it, backgrounds and tablets and stuff that have the layouts.
There was a while there when Mr. Man was running a table that he had built that had it was a 40-inch TV in it or
Oh
50-inch
shit!
TV in it. Yeah, dude.
I
And we had
like
drawn a
that.
grid on it. And so he was bringing up any program he wanted to be any map.
Yeah, Perennia. Yeah, he could use CAD for. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was an absolutely brilliant design. Um, but the problem was still the same. We spent very little time playing our characters and a lot of time looking at his map and figuring out how to kill everything.
Oh, so yeah, okay. That's how you guys were. I know that I've definitely read that being a problem with some people when it comes to using like TVs, tablets, or computers in general for their gameplay because they're fucking around more with that, trying to get the technicalities and basically what you just said. So
Yeah,
I've read that is a drawback on some groups, but it all depends on what the group. Some groups are there for just the heavy role play, so those maps are helpful for them. You
see, I
guys,
think
you guys are playing for the kill and stuff, and I'm glad you guys are developing your characters more. I like that. So I'm documenting very early, kind of into that life.
yeah, I mean, I have to give it to Andromeda's player or like player quite a bit, because being as this is an aspect of the game we haven't done as much, he is really doing a good job of playing as kind of a selfish, self-centered bitch.
Well, it's like the anti-hero hero type of character is what I seen. Like,
I like his character,
fucking
but
broken in the beginning of the
finding a way
campaign.
to get himself into that. And I mean, it's almost like, you know, the rash decisions and stuff come from a real woman.
Yeah, it's a good. It's kind of hard to capture that mindset, and from just the recaps I'm hearing, he does it very well. And
Yeah,
from what we said, it's Andromeda's kind of like the spearhead of the story, kind of, you know.
well, yeah, part of it too, I think, is that as I understand it, every time we do a campaign, the campaign kind of revolves around a character.
Yeah,
And so each of the players kind of take it in turn over the time, right?
yeah.
It's the
Generally,
how
that's
I
how it happens.
became King Ash.
How'd that happen? If you don't mind,
Well,
half
that
interview.
particular campaign ended up being about my character.
Okay, and you became King
So I
Ash
got to
from
be
that.
King Ash, and it worked out good because I actually still get to affect this campaign because I'm still alive.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. All right, here we go. My brain's working again. So I was gonna say, I was talking to Mr. Man about affecting the world as a whole, or characters affecting the future and the past, and he told we just covered a story about King Arthur and how that was like the first like character in like hero in the world essentially. And when you said, you know, King Ash, I was like, yeah, and my brain stopped working. But I was gonna say, yeah, I like that aspect of affecting the world in front, like characters that you played that aren't being played at the moment that are still alive, affecting the world in some way. And I think that's pretty cool. It develops the universe and solidifies like a history and just an actual like eras of the world too.
It does. I'm actually surprised that some of the other players, like, I mean, at the end of the day, who doesn't want to be a god? And it's something I've wanted to
Me?
do with every character,
I feel like being a god's
but
too much
because,
pressure.
yeah, it seems like a lot, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
when I had King Ash, I mean, he's a half dragon. His lifespan's exceptionally long. I don't have to ascend to godhood immediately. So I
Is
just
King
said,
Ash
no, I
a
won't.
elf?
No, he's a half dragon.
Oh, okay, yeah. I see why they would last a long time.
So I just said, no, I'll wait. And because I waited, I still get to make decisions like, you know, it's kind of more overall decisions.
Yeah.
And then we see what happens. But I still do get to make decisions that are affecting the world with that character and play this new one. So that's fun.
Mm-hmm. All right, so since we sidetracked so far all the way, let's get back into that recap. I forgot where we were at.
Okay, so I killed the signal guy.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
we're in the invasion fights.
Yeah, so I killed the signal guy, and then I had to basically stand there holding the lamp. Um, Everybody else continued to fight. The fighting was all for us for a couple of rounds. In this time, when they boarded the boat, Andromeda had used a spell called Warp Wood twice on two different decks of the ship
What does that
to
do?
create like I believe it's a 5-foot opening in the
Oh
hull.
shit! Oh, okay.
So, fucking thing is sinking, right?
Yeah, okay. That's no matter what size of that ship, that thing's like kaput.
Yeah, it's going down. Um, Then there was talk about, you know, the players becoming more involved in the actual combat because it had been roll-offs to that point.
Yeah.
And so, what was our target of opportunity? There was a spellcaster on the boat, and there's also the captain. Now, Andromeda and I disagreed and argued a little bit, but at the end of the day, I'm doing something else and I can't make the decision.
Yeah.
So they went after the captain, and they managed to capture him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we've captured him and sent him back to the sanctuary on one of our dragons.
What was the plan? Taking him back to Sanctuary? Interrogation?
Yeah, because he's a captain of one of the invading vessels. Just want to see what he knows, and you know.
French-sounding fucks, I highly doubt they would make any sense snitching. Those are my boys, but I fucking hate their accents.
Yeah, I have a bit of a hard time with that too. But you know what? I'm loving that. Loving that Mr. Man's doing that.
Hold on. But anyway,
Okay,
so
let me know when you're ready.
you said what?
Okay, so shit. Now I don't even remember where I was.
Hey, we're good. So you guys were making holes in the side of the ship. Someone was doing that.
Right. So Andromeda's got these holes in the boat. They decided to capture the captain.
Yeah, and take it back to Sanctuary and figure out
Right.
information.
They were. See, my argument in that, like, because I did argue against it, was that the amount of intel a single captain is going to have is going to be useless compared to the divination magic that my country can do.
It's going to be what he has done, what bases he's been, and what his orders were is all you're going to get. Not really much useful information other than knowing where his targets are if he hasn't already hit them yet.
Exactly. And
That's
because it's mostly a blockade, his target is to just sit there and make sure that we don't let any trade in and out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, there was a funny thing because we had poisoned that vessel before.
Yeah.
You know, they had some real bad detraction from it. That was fun. Made it super easy to kill. You know, most of them. I think we bailed before we killed everybody, and we let the rest sink.
Oh wait, how many of you guys killed?
Well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and I mean I could be, I think there was about 240 guys in the boat.
That must be a big ship then.
Oh yeah, it's a big boat.
Oh god, that's a big boy.
And I believe that the 40 of us plus the 4, or it could have been 50 of us plus the 4. I don't remember how many guys we brought. I think it might have been 50. I think we killed over 160 of them.
Oh my god. You guys are monsters.
And then captured their captain, killed their wizard, and left.
Well, yeah. So, how did you guys have any trouble getting back to Sanctuary or anything?
No, the boat was going down. The people that hadn't been murdered yet were basically, you know, paralysis and poison mixture of probably puking and shitting their guts out. I kind of coined the term. They had mud butt.
Wait, hold on. They were like the ship was going down and they were poisoned?
Well, they had been poisoned from the previous game when we snuck on and poisoned that vessel.
Oh my, okay.
So it was like a long overtake of poison for the crew.
That's such a that's shitty. Oh god, that's a terrible way to go. Just shitting and puking all over while drowning in your shit and puke because the water level's so high. That's ruthless. You guys are like the death squad. All right, so you guys head back to Sanctuary.
Right, and that's where that session ended.
All right, so you guys pick up talking to the captain or whatever.
Well, no, that session finished. It took all night to get through that one set.
Oh damn.
It turned into a thing that seemed like it would move faster, and when you talk about it, it moved faster because there was no like actual mechanics of the combat between the massive crew and the 50 guys we brought, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, what'd you guys? So that in this week, so that was last week. What'd you guys do starting this week?
But that was this week. We just did that on Tuesday.
Oh shit! So we covered everything then.
Yeah, from my perspective, yes.
Yeah. All right, right on. Well, I guess shit. I guess we could start your character interview if you're down for that.
Sure, man. Go ahead.
I don't know how long this has been because my recording timer just stops at 001. So, anyways, you are quick. How long have you been playing in this world, Perennia?
Oh, damn. Let's see.
Not specifically as quick, but that's the character you are now. And as a whole, how long have you been playing in Mr. Man's world?
I believe in this particular world, This is, I think, my third campaign. I don't know exactly how long that would be. Because we've played a few other games in between
Okay.
that were also run by Mr. Man.
So 3 campaigns specifically in Perennia. Ooh, that's I don't know how long campaigns typically last. Sometimes the stories I read, they're like, a month, a day, a week, a year,
Oh, no.
multiple
These
years.
would all be, like, at very least a year, probably plus each.
All right.
Like, as we had talked about, my previous character in this particular world would be King Ash. That was a fairly elongated campaign.
King Ash.
Played for, I think, a few years.
Well, since you brought up King Ash, it seems like I'm going to treat it as an actual big achievement because we're speaking about Perennia. So when I say like that's a big achievement, I don't mean to like sound sarcastic or whatever. I'm saying it is pretty big when we're speaking in terms of what we're talking about here. If that do you get what I'm saying? Okay.
I do.
But I was gonna say, being able like King Ash, did you become a king in that campaign, or were you already a king?
I became a king in that campaign. I started that campaign, oddly enough, as a human, and I believe the first player in the world to use a specific Dungeons and Dragons book called the Book of Nine Swords, which is where the Master of Nine comes from.
And what is that? Like, what is the Master of Nine? What does that mean exactly? Is that like a person?
So there's classes like wizards and clerics and fighters, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it gives you a section of classes to choose and then prestige classes that you can grow to acquire later.
Oh yeah,
And
I understand. Okay,
yeah.
prestige class.
So I was the first person to utilize the classes in that book to become a Master of Nine.
Now
And
I follow.
Through the course of that campaign, my character was actually killed.
How do you get brought back to life?
Yeah, instead of killing him, had him cocooned and saved by Lancelot.
Okay.
And then I was gifted the kingship of the sanctuary.
Well, how did the cocoon work? Because I'm like, there's still a lot to We're treating this as new to D&D also. So how does the cocoon work in that instance?
Yeah, no, there isn't really a cocoon mechanism. He did it more on a story flair.
Okay.
Because I think that he wasn't ready to get rid of that character. That character, he was a nut bar. He was a lot of fun to play. I actually rode a wagon one time through a tornado just by sticking my spear through the roof and hanging on.
Oh, say that. Just repeat that again.
Yeah, I rode a wagon through a tornado one time.
Jesus Christ. That is like one of those posts you'd see in like a green text thread or on Reddit. It's the funny stuff that I like to read or hear about. So, all right. So you became King Ash in that campaign. What is the great, like, in your opinion, if you had to like, champion something? What is your greatest achievement in D&D? Like, kill 5 gods, or do you have anything to?
Okay. Yeah. I was kind of happy with. We played an evil campaign once. It was actually the other campaign we played in this world.
Okay. So
and I made a character that made all the other people uncomfortable.
How would you achieve that?
Well, I was not a very nice person. I was looking to like skin children and make magic items out of them.
Yeah, you're pretty unlikable if that is something the public knows.
Okay, you're playing an evil campaign, so I thought about it, and I was like, well, I mean, how fucking evil can you be? I bet I can be the most evil. So,
okay, so you win there. That is the most evil.
Yeah, I was being bad. To be fair, it wasn't just some regular Jagoff's kid. It was a prince, and I was trying to get in tight with a king.
Oh shit! Did you achieve that? Did you get tight with the king?
The game ended up ending before we got too much further.
Oh damn. Okay. All right, so in this current,
but that might be my favorite accomplishment was I made the rest of the players uncomfortable by being extra evil.
So, did that character die or did it retire? How that character demise go?
Those characters were set aside. I honestly hope that Mr. Man still has them in the back burner for some reason or another. I know he has the sheets.
Oh, that'd be pretty interesting to bring them back, or at least make them a villain, or that would be a good BBEG, big bad
Yeah.
evil guy. For those that didn't know what that means.
Other than that, I don't know. The biggest accomplishment I think might be just having the same group play together for as long as we have, because that's terribly difficult to do.
Yeah, it's three campaigns in Perennia, and you say that takes like over a year. Yeah.
Well, and there was breaks in it too. Like a couple of us have left where we are all now, and have spread around the world to do other jobs, and
Oh yeah, for sure.
like real life takes over sometimes.
But still, like you guys get back together and play, so I would kind of with breaks in between. That's still a lot of time between those three campaigns. Not even including the other campaigns you played in between the perennial ones. So that's that's just a lot of time. That's a really good achievement, actually.
Well, like I said, with Mr. Man alone, it's been 10 years.
Yeah, 10 and then 20 with the other person.
Yeah, 20 with Andromeda. Yeah, I mean that's not full time 20, but I mean there's a lot
well,
of
that's overall 20 you off and on.
Yeah. I mean, there were times when it was just me and him and one other guy playing who doesn't play with us anymore.
How does playing with three people work? Is it hard, or do you guys just play with NPCs?
Generally, because nobody wanted to run the game, what we were doing was we would each do an adventure of the week, and we'd take it in threes. So, I would do it now, and then next week someone else would do it.
All right. So, in Perennia, as Quick, is this like the first time the character's been used, or?
Yeah, Quick is... I've done halflings before, but never in one of Mr. Man's games. Okay. And they were some of my first stuff, so I played 2 of them back to back almost 20 years ago. And I haven't touched one since.
Oh, so this is the return.
Yeah, so I thought it would be fun to come back and try something. Usually I prefer to play a wizard, but I mean, it's not fair to monopolize the class, so,
I love magic. I love using magic in games and anything. That's my plan going into D&D if I play sorcerer.
Yeah, well, I definitely tracked the name, yeah.
I literally chose sorcerer as the name with D&D and MMOs in mind. Like I was like, I want to eventually get into D&D on YouTube, so I just chose sorcerer.
Well, there you go. Yeah, so I mean, this character has not been done before because even my previous halflings, he's kind of being played like my first one because I don't have a real plan for this character.
I was going to ask, do you have any long-term plans, but you just answered that. Damn it.
Yeah, not yet. There are things that I know that have come up through gameplay, but I'm developing him very organically through playing the game and seeing what happens. Like he's got a real connections with the Nathan's NPC.
Yeah, he covered that. Well, you said you have no long-term plans, but things have come up. Like, what are some possibilities you could see yourself do in the future if you had to choose something right now?
Well, I'm now on the path of becoming a Master of 9, so I can see myself being tied to the Sanctuary for a while, because they're the only country that has them.
Yeah, and those are like those are the Master Chiefs, the Spartans.
Sort of. I've taken a specific bend on it. There's a set of skills you can use in it, which kind of let me throw people.
Oh, dude.
And I just find the idea of a guy who's like under 3 feet tall throwing somebody 60 feet hilarious.
I already knew where you're going with that. See, I'm on the same wavelength. Imagine a halfling just picking up and slamming some dude on his neck over and over again.
Yeah, It also there in the same skill sets in this class allows me to do better against fighting things bigger than me, which is fucking near everything.
Yeah. So you're going to take that path. Anything else if you didn't go down that route?
Well, I'm really curious what that thing I smacked on the ass is.
Yeah. Well, where was that again?
That was on that island. I mean, I'm super
Yeah.
scared of that thing, man. It unleashed some really big power considering that I'm such a little pussy at the moment. But, as I get stronger, I mean, I might want to go back and have a test against that thing.
Yeah, it was a mysterious entity. Well, I mean, I kind of, if I recall that the voice call we had, I kind of recall what it was supposed to be or the idea, but I forget now. So you smacked it on its ass, never figured it out. You guys are going to have to go back to that island after fighting off the initial invasion.
Well, yeah, I mean that's something that this particular character is heavily interested in doing. I also think that given my new interest in this Master of Nine class, a lot of it is about it'd be kind of like your Buddhist monk effect. It's about the journey, not the destination.
Yes, yeah.
So it would be a good place to potentially entrench that character and build his own temple in his later years.
Make it, yeah. Are you going to build a religion dedicated to your character?
Well, not a religion, a place to train youngs. I'd be like a
Don't
not
execute
green
Order
Yoda.
66. I was going to say, don't execute Order 66.
Yeah.
Just avoid that, and I think you'll be all right. Oh damn! So going back to figure out what that BBEG was. Any speculation or any? Have you ever had any encounters like that? Any like encounters that like kind of shook you a little bit? That's a good
Well, I
route
mean,
to
there's
go
definitely
down.
been times where we've run across things that were definitely something we couldn't handle
Like what?
in various games, but just the sheer not knowing exactly what it is something that is more bothersome. Like I said, we've all been playing this game for a really long time, and to run across something 100% we're not entirely sure, that is more fun speculations you know than you
Yeah.
can pay for.
Uh oh. You cut out. Say something.
Am I good?
Oh, you're good now. Okay. So you come across, things you couldn't handle. I'm trying to go down this route of try to explore your D&D experience because it doesn't all have to be based in Perennia because it's kind of a character profile, So, what is your favorite class to play? My brain's not working.
Generally a wizard, but I know that we played. Yeah, well, no, but we've talked about it a bit. But I mean, we've played other games. Even when we played Cyberpunk, I did play a magic user.
Wait, Cyberpunk has a tabletop?
Cyberpunk was a tabletop long before it was Cyberpunk, man.
Oh, I didn't know that. I see. That's news to me. So, what is it kind of about? Like the original game?
Well, it's a Dungeons and Dragons in the future. At least the version that we played. I mean, there are orcs and elves and trolls and stuff, but there's also cybernetic implants and online banking and.
Wait, online banking? Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. There's whole guys. My character was designed to either cast magic or hack into systems.
So there's magic in Cyberpunk. Damn, that fucking FPS gypped me then. I want some fucking magic.
Yeah.
Alright.
In other games, like when we played Star Wars, I played a droid once.
That is something I want to play. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I got excited. I want to play Star Wars the tabletop. Repeat what you said. I apologize. Quick.
I played a droid and a Jedi.
Hey, droids can be Jedis in that game?
No. I played a droid, and I also had a different character, Jedi.
Okay, I'm kind of retarded, I guess. So,
my droid was cool, man.
I was gonna ask, is it playing a droid pretty cool? I imagine like it would be really useful because you can go ranged, right?
Well, the thing with the droid is that where everybody else had to basically live in the body they had, I got to redesign my body as many times as I could afford to pay for it.
Oh, it's cheap, dude.
So yeah, dude. So I started out as this like hunk of shit that had tracks and fucking was slow as shit. And by the end of it, I had like a rocket body and no legs. And
So like, oh, dude, you could like just launch mini nukes, couldn't you?
no. Like I had like a rocket at my torso,
Wait,
and then I had magnetic grapples on my body.
so you're just like a rolling rocket launcher, essentially?
Floating around, I got rid of the tracks.
Oh my! I can just picture how dumb
Had a
that
big-
would look, but how scary that is also.
I had a big sniper rifle and would just like fly over to where I wanted, magnetically stick myself to a building, and then shoot people in the face.
You could you do? Would you do any structural damage? Like I would imagine that has to be a factor since you're a giant piece of metal, essentially, magnetized on a wall.
I wasn't like I was a regular sized robot, like a human sized robot.
Oh,
But I did have a special sniper rifle design that used a D12 instead of a D10, just because I never get to use them. Thought it'd be fun to roll it once or twice.
That's how'd that work out? Work out pretty well.
I killed a lot of things with that character.
So my brain's starting to work again. I remember what I wanted to ask, going down that like bad experience or bad moments route type of deal. What was the worst, like as a character, like the worst thing to happen to a character of yours? Something that really like bothered you,
Um,
if you could think of anything.
okay. It was actually my very first character,
Really?
and
What was it?
he was a halfling thief, and he was playing in one group, but the guy that was DMing for us was DMing a second group at our house.
At the same time?
And they were short. Yeah. He was doing two groups and running the same dungeon.
Oh, okay. I guess that could work. Yeah.
And so they ended up being a couple of players short one night and asked if I would sit in. And I was like, yeah, okay, cool, I'll come and do this. And people liked that character, like the other guys who had heard stories about him, because Milo was a nut bar. He didn't plan anything. He just ran around and tried to stab stuff.
As you do.
Yeah. And so we went into this combat, and I was already hurt from the game the night before, and I didn't think to heal him, and none of the other players in this other group, I didn't know who they were or what their skills were. They didn't bother to heal him, and they all got killed, and so did I.
See, I would have said something because I'm a nice person. I'd be like, "Hey, man."
And so that was a little disappointing.
So, oh yeah. What about anything that like any kind of elements that tugged at your heartstrings a little bit?
You know, I suspect one would have to have a heart for that to take effect.
That's a good enough answer. I'll accept that. So you like to play wizard? You know, you've been fucked over and that bothered you.
I mean, you know, look, I feel bad for Andromeda in this particular game, since we're doing feelings now.
Just how you said that. Oh, that sounds kind of shitty.
Hey, look, man. I mean,
That's funny though. It's funny, like it's a shitty funny.
well, yeah, but I mean, here's the thing too. I don't know if it's been talked about, but I've heard that I'm one of the guys who keeps the players on track,
Okay.
because they'll degenerate to arguing all night
About what?
about anything, like the tactics of how we're going to do something, or they
He
just
doesn't
can't
tell
make a
me
decision.
this part. I want to hear some of this. I want to hear some dumb shit. What are some of the common arguments?
Dude, it depends on the situation. Everything is situational. Because of the different player types. Sorry if that crack made noise.
You're good.
With the different player types we have, you know, let's get some names here. Shaw's a pretty go with the flow kind of player, and then every once in a while he'll just do something specifically out of the general context, and he doesn't care if it makes anybody mad.
So he's a wild
Andromeda's
card.
character, yeah, but only rarely. Most of the time, he's like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go.
Oh, so he's just like a wild card at the worst moments.
Yes, specifically.
Sorry,
Andromeda always wants to be maximized.
Oh, min-maxer.
Yeah, but in a regard to even how people react to things. So I mean, you can see where arguments have started already.
Yeah. It's starting to form in my head.
Yeah, and when people are disagreeing on the situation, it eventually comes to somebody to be like, okay, well, I'm choosing something and just do it.
You just gotta
and start moving the game along and force the issue, right? Because everyone else will just continue arguing. Most of the time, actually, Sverg has become really good at doing it too.
Just make a decision and deal with the fallout later.
Yeah.
As long as something's getting done, yeah, I can make that. I can see why you do that.
At the end of the day, you were saying my biggest disappointment in gaming. I thought about it again, and the same character that died that I was talking about. That isn't my biggest disappointment with him. Is that he died. It's that we had in our regular group another player who was terribly interested in the game, and he threatened my character, and then did the exact thing that he threatened me over, and so I killed him.
Well, I mean,
when I killed him, he got very upset.
He tried you, man. He tried you. Fuck around and find out. Isn't that what the saying is?
Yeah, well, and that's kind of what happened. But I mean, the guy got really, really upset, and then he left. And it was disappointing that it had to go that way, because I mean, at the end of the day, we're playing a fucking game, right?
Yeah, like, it's okay to get emotionally attached to a character. That's like immersion. But to like, get like angry and actual violent over what happens is kind of it's a bad look.
It's unnecessary too. I mean, hell, man, I'd have been the first guy to buy him a beer and be like, "Sorry about your fucking thing there," but
Yeah, I'm the same way. Oh shit! All right, so I get what you're saying. The party. People just can't get along, but at the same time, isn't that like, at least for your guys' dynamic, you guys are so diverse, it kind of works in a lot of strengths too, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, for our party, I mean, as much as I hate to say it because it almost breaks the immersion of the game, but it doesn't matter what kind of character each of the players make. You kind of know how each of the players is going to play them a little bit.
Yeah.
And so you can like take that into account and make things that complement them more than rub them the wrong way.
Yeah.
If you're of a mindset to do so. Every once in a while it's fun to fucking be the sandpaper in the pile, but...
Yeah. I like how you said that. That's true, though.
Yeah, well, but you got to know when to stir it up and when not to, right?
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Back to the game. So you've been to stores, right? You've bought figures or paper, dice, anything, modules, books. What is some of the weird shit you've seen there personally?
What, in stores?
Yeah, anything. Or if you don't go to a lot of stores, at a person's a person's house while playing. If you don't go to stores.
Well, I mean, I've been to some stores. I've seen weirder shit at people's houses.
All right, well, there you go.
I mean, I don't know. You've got your basic run of the gamut when it comes to game players in general. You've got your sword collectors. I worked with a guy once who I've heard since. I didn't know him as an avid gamer, but I've heard since it is one. And he invited me over for a beer after work. And I was like, yeah, I'd like a beer after work. He was like, cool, you could stay in my bed and sleep over. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. What? Sleep over, bro.
There's weird fucking people out there.
Yeah.
He wanted to show people his boar spear. That was another guy.
A boar spear? Like to go hunt
boar
with?
Like, and I was like, you know what, dude, put your fucking boar spear away. I don't want to see it.
It sounds like an innuendo.
Yeah,
Bro,
that's where I was
look at
going.
my long boar spear.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I've walked in on some pretty weird scenarios when I watch people play D&D. Like before I got interested in it, like when I was the asshole that would make fun of it while spending hours playing Call of Duty like a nerd. But I like this. Some of the stuff I seen was guys' girlfriends getting into the game, getting into RP for the first time, and then just getting way too into it. It just becomes a sexual RP for them, but not like they aren't conscious of what they're doing, but they are just way too just horny in game. Like
Yeah.
I never
I,
understood how people can get that way.
I've seen broads overtly sexualize their characters with the few that we've played with.
You and Mr. Man call say broads. I haven't heard that in forever, except for when I talk to him.
I will fully admit to exploiting that fact once and allowing a chick's character to give me a BJ so I could rob her.
There you go. Well, it's all for for the better of the party, right? Or the campaign.
No, that was for me. She had to learn a lesson.
Well, that too. I mean, teach them a lesson, or you get some you get something out of it other than just a happy ending. That's
Well,
what
see, I wasn't
matters.
looking for a happy ending. I just wanted her money.
Well, she got your nut. I mean, that's an exchange, so it wasn't really robbing. You just paid for a blowjob. Well,
You know what, dude?
she
If
paid
I
you
could
to
only
blow you.
in real life.
You say what?
If I could only come up with a way for broads to pay me for a nut in real life,
Oh,
that'd
yeah.
be on it.
You can. You just gotta start like become a pickup artist, and then when you start fucking them, you just go through their shit when they go to the bathroom. Because they always go to the
Dude,
bathroom.
that sounds like a lot of work, man. I'm not a person that people fucking like. You know what I mean? And I can't fake liking a bunch of people either. That sounds like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I can respect people and not actually have to like them, and I could talk to them like they would think I like them, just because I know how to handle people in real life, especially people I don't like. But
Yeah,
if I don't like someone, they'll know. Like, hey, I'll just not be their friend or whatever. No, or be friendly, I should say.
Yeah, I can be polite, man. I've spent a long time in the entertainment industry.
Oh shit, nice. I'm not going to ask what you do because that has nothing to do with tabletop or gaming.
It's all the same shit. I did film and music for years.
Oh damn, nice. That sounds like a cool industry.
Like behind the scenes, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's
So, do you don't do that anymore now? I said
Well,
that wrong.
yeah,
You don't do that anymore. I'm sorry, I said that wrong.
The whole COVID thing kind of put me in a position where I couldn't afford to live where I had a lot of work.
Damn, sorry to hear that.
But it is what it is.
You said
It also
you
got me.
found a career or a job at least to hold you over now, right? You're good.
Right now, I'm doing small jobs for some people around. I'm making a little bit of money, not a bunch, but
That's good. It sucks to hear, but glad that there is, at least a short-term answer.
yeah. And there's bigger answers coming in the future. But it also gave me the opportunity to come back and game with these people now.
Oh hell yeah! Well, I'm glad the path led you to do this, and then you guys playing together led to this podcast existing.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised at that too. And I mean, I don't know where you are in your interview spot, but I do have some questions for you about just podcasting in general, if you're interested.
Shoot away, man. Ask whatever you want. This doesn't have to be a one-way thing.
Okay, cool. So I mean, I know you've obviously got some editing software, and really, like, what do you figure your bulk overall cost is to get involved in something like this?
I spent well. I originally was renting a license for Sony Vegas, which anybody that has ever edited anything would know would know that product. That's supposedly what movie makers use and shit, but I liked it. I paid $30 a month. Well, I used to pay $25, then it went to $30. I don't know why my price went up. I must have had a deal. but it was roughly $30 a month. I stopped paying for it because it was just a situation where it would always come out at the worst time, and I wasn't using it much, so I was just literally spending money to not use the program. And eventually, this started picking up. We started doing more and more. I started uploading more and more. So I got a free program, got used to that, and I haven't spent a dime on that. But it's more of like, if I'm playing a game, it's the cost of the game or the cost of whatever I'm showcasing the game. If I'm buying something in the cash store, if I'm paying for a Premier membership just so I can experience the game fully, that's where the cost comes in. But you can do everything for free. Most of what I have is free.
More like bulk materials. I'm talking mics, camera.
Oh shit, that's okay. Most of my equipment is no more than $150. I got my co-host for my main show bought me a different a Focusrite mic, which is like a basic mic you can get off Amazon. You can get the mixer and the mic for like $150, which is good. It's good quality. It's not like you're gonna have to buy spend another $100 on like a mic stand and like a filter of some sort, just so you don't have that popping noise when you use the P's, or you don't have wind blowing in the background as much. But that's $250 right there. $150 for the product, $100 for the stand and the filter, pop filter, I think is what it's called. And then you have, I got another mic, but that was just given to me for Christmas. But that was like $200. I have two mics.
There you go.
Yeah, but $150, $200 for a mic. If you get a mic and a mixer, which the mic isn't going to be a great quality mic, but it's still a great start. And $150, $200, or maybe $350 if you're buying the best of the best and buying it separately. And then what else? I mean, there's soundproofing foam, like not sound reducing foam you can get on Amazon. It's like $6 for like 3 pieces. They're a foot by a foot, and it helps. So if you have a fan blowing, if you have a couple of them up, I don't know how to angle them right, but I put them up in a weird way, and you can't hear my fan blowing. But all the materials is based on how you want to sound, your situation. Some people are just good at using audio settings, so they don't need to buy extra equipment. I am terrible, so I have to buy more shit. I have a sock over my mic right now.
There you go. See, I'm interested because I come at things from a production standpoint, right?
Yeah. Materials, like I said, $200, maybe $350 at tops if you buy like the best, like a great mixer and a great mic separately. You don't need a tall stand mic. You don't need like a big fat one either. Like, I read reviews on Amazon, or I read reviews period, not just one that has 105 stars and it only has 105 reviews total. I look at ones with thousands and tens of thousands, and then I look at the anywhere from 4 to 5 stars. But that's what I read.
Okay.
And I always take into account that someone's experience isn't going to be the standard either. So just because like 10 people had just the most fucked up experience doesn't mean, all 300 fucking 1-star reviews have that same experience. So it doesn't mean it's a persistent problem type of deal. Like, I guess I look at it a little bit more logically too.
Oh, but I mean, logic is how you get shit done. So one
That's
has
true.
to look at things in that regard.
But any other questions?
Well, I mean, I asked you what got you into doing this specifically, like interest in D&D. I asked you about the equipment. No, I don't think I have any more questions for you specifically, other than I'm pretty sure you're okay with my cursing, which I was supposed to ask you in the beginning.
Yeah, you're fine. You can say whatever, and if you feel anything cross the line, we're adults, so you can just say, "Hey, man." And I'm gonna cut out. I gotta, just so I can skip forward and know this. I gotta cut that second time you said the name.
Yeah.
But it was around the.
It was
within the first. It was within the first couple of minutes of you saying it the first time, so it would be easy to go back there and cut that. But
Yeah, I'm not used to being being a person in front of things, so
I'm still new to it. Like I started a year ago, to thanks to somebody just saying like, "Hey, I know you've been talking about doing this. Do you want to do it on my channel?" I said yes. Then he ended up being a drama whore, and I kind of just sprung off and started doing a live stream weekly, treating it like a live show, like a live weekly time slot thing. And then I wanted to do YouTube. Like I wanted to do something with gaming since I was a kid. So eventually I started doing YouTube videos. I got a couple terrible streams, a lot of terrible streams, a couple terrible edited videos. Some that like I should go back and delete or re-record because I didn't script, so there's a lot of fucking like tonight, just a lot of my brain stopped working, give me a minute, I'm gonna ramble and then think of what I had to say. And then eventually I started booting up. Like I had a friend pass away, and something just spurred me to start uploading so much more. So I'm still learning everything. Like I've had a channel with uploads for over a year, but I haven't actually started doing anything until like 6 months ago.
first off, I'm sorry to hear about your friend's passing.
Yeah.
Secondly, everyone needs a driving force.
That's true. I have a lot of different influences, so I can't really name them all.
Well, and that's like part of the thing that makes the group diverse, right?
Yeah.
Like our group, just if you want a little more D&D thoughts and ideas. Our group is very diverse. There are some among us who are religious. There are some among us who are atheists. There are some who are like quite clearly heathens.
Yeah, that's true.
But diversity and getting all those people together and making them friends is a big part of why I think this is such a successful game.
Yeah, I agree. I think having diversity in people, having mature, diverse people, because there's a lot of diverse people out there that make it their life to make everything diverse, but they do it in such a very terrible way of being diverse. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's not
trying
where
too
we're
hard
going.
is it? Yeah, and I like your guys' group because like you said you guys bicker, but you guys are still all playing together. So obviously it's not a bad sign; it's a good sign because you guys are all working to the same goal, just a different idea about it. So you guys can work together. It's just a matter of
it helps being able to tell your friend, like, you know what, you're fucking wrong.
Yeah. You don't have a friendship if you can't do that. That's how I see it.
Oh, and that's important. So that's the biggest thing, and it makes it more comfortable, like for any future role players out there. Just if you don't find your group right away, feel it out, man, because there are going to be people who stick, and there's going to be people who don't. But your best stuff will come in the later years because you're going to be comfortable with the people you're playing with.
Yeah. I recommend just even if you judge someone on just looking at them, when it comes to D&D, you should give it a shot. Like sometimes people are exactly as they appear, and I would think a lot of the times they really aren't. For the good, for the better, and the worse. So if you're trying to get into it, just try to find a group. Maybe get a friend if you need, just to get started, so they're there as your safety blanket. But fucking everyone, meet a group. You don't need to have the same people that are exactly like you playing, because the game I think would get really boring if everyone just agrees and does whatever the one friend says.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend at one point who was like, if you don't like my friends and think the way we do, then this probably isn't going to work out. And I was like, well, then you should probably fucking leave.
Yeah. I like to be. I like to have people around me that don't think like me, because then it gives me a different perspective.
It's personal growth, man.
I don't
You
really
can't grow
argue.
up.
I don't argue much. I'll debate, but I won't argue, and it's because I can see a perspective and I can look through someone else's eyes. Even if I do absolutely disavow whatever me and this person are talking about, I can still see it. Like, I have the open-mindedness to see it through their eyes, so it's not a total outright rejection. I at least have some kind of knowledge to stand on, knowledge, experience, some kind of empathy.
Right.
Yeah, everyone comes from a weird background if you think about it, and
Of
everyone's
course,
different.
nobody's life is that pristine thing that we've been told it was.
Exactly. And
The other big part is be willing to, be mad and say that you're not wrong and walk away and think about it and then make that phone call and be like, you know what, man, I was fucking wrong.
yeah. Hey, pride and ego is okay, but you also have to have humility to taper it down.
Yeah, one does need that.
Yeah. But I think this is a pretty good long episode. Mr. Man, you around?
No, he's not, but I'm sure I can get him here. Give me a second.
I just wanted to know if you had anything to finish up and say before we finished up.
I don't know. Hang on. Sorry, I needed a little book. I was actually using a book to try and remember not to say everybody's names. So I had their names next to the thing, and I still fucked it up.
You're good. There's only 2 times. One was intentional. Well, you were just saying it because you knew I'd cut it, and the second one was on accident. It's all good. I mean, you could have said much worse shit, and it would have been okay. You wouldn't have offended me. And if you felt like if anything you said would offend anybody, I'd be willing to go through and cut it for you, man. Because you took part in this episode, so you have part say in what goes on. That's how I see it. Because this isn't a job. This isn't a job. This is a hobby. So I mean, I'm willing to, if you're a part of it, have a say in it because it's you're helping me release this. That's how I see it, at least.
I figure this is my say. I'm not worried about you cutting anything. Sorry, I was leaning down to get some. In or out. It's just I know I can be a little rougher on the edges on occasion.
Oh, you're good, man. I thought you were. Well, at least in my standpoint, we got along perfectly well. If anybody else thinks so, that's on them. I think it went very smoothly. And next time we talk, I will have more pointed questions and actual list. I thought I would actually flow better, but I got caught up in a lot of our side subjects.
No worries, man. I'm gonna trade back to Mr. Matt, so it's nice talking to you, man.
Right. You have a good one. Nice talking to you too. Quick. Hello, Mr.
Oh. Hello there.
All right, you have anything to add or to mention before I wrap this? Before I finish this up?
Nope. Next time we talk, I'll do my side of whatever you guys just talked about because I didn't even hear it. So yeah.
Yeah. I think there's some details you're gonna have to fill in. So there's gonna be a follow-up episode. I work this weekend, but we can get together since I'm not streaming.
No, we have a schedule, so whenever the hell you want to do it, we'll do it.
I got you. And I'll listen to this, and I'll try to upload this privately so you can watch it first, and then so you have an idea of what he said, so we can actually do a follow-up, so you can fill in what you think you need to.
Yeah, if you want to. I was just going to do it the way I would have done it anyway. So.
It's all good. I also, in that same call, wanted to go through Steam and some of those video application websites. Try to find some D&D related stuff. Try to see if it's garbage or not. Just looking at it, and if one's cool enough, I'll download it. It'll be something nifty. A different, still tabletop related, but variety. If that works for you,
man.
All right. Well,
I'm down for whatever.
You have a good night, man. Thanks for bringing me quick.
Okay, no problem. You have a good night too.
All right, peace.
Yeah.
Welcome, welcome, one and all. This place is so filthy, why stay here at all? Why rest in a place so painful and small? There's nothing to dazzle, no spark of enthrall. Who let this tavern become such a bore? Really, does an inn have so little in store? But what if I told you there's so much more? Let me show you a place I simply adore. Tired while traveling, I've got just to stay. Your own cozy cabin in the railway. The train never stops, you may ride for cheap. Let's venture on forward to the ocean's deep. Well, the drunken treasure's a haven below, but where it is exactly, I never know. Oh, and don't be surprised by what lurks on outside, and really don't fight it. Believe me, I've tried. Let's all take a breather, we'll hope for the best. The first round's on me, but you'll pay for the rest. I hope that this tavern hasn't left you bored. Next up is a place that is fit for a lord. Follow my lead to the watering hole. Just know that the fog is always on patrol. This tavern's my favorite, it's got its own band, and they're always more than happy to lend me a hand. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Come visit these taverns, come and have a ball. Why settle for less and why settle for small? It's your game to play, why not come try 'em all?